Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Let's start. So we have been learning the blocking assignment and non-blocking assignment in Verilog. And we have seen these two examples illustrating the difference between the blocking assignment and non-blocking assignment. However, there is a clarification I need to make here. So for this illustration one, we have two concurrent always blocks. And the order of execution is not clear. And the order of execution of these two concurrent always block depends on the actual implementation of the simulator. It could be the first one first or the second one first. They are concurrent. Two always block are concurrent. So there is simulation ambiguity. It depends on different simulators. But in the second example, using non-blocking assignment, there is no ambiguity. So in this illustration 2, we so at the positive edge of the clock, all the values on the right-hand side of the statement are read first. In some temporary variables in the simulator. And during the write operation, right to the left-hand side, the values stored in the temporary variables are assigned to the left-hand side. So in this non-blocking assignment, separating the read and the write operations ensure that the values of the registers A and B are swapped correctly, regardless of the order in which the write operation are performed, because those data, the right-hand side data are stored in temporary variables. So there is no racing condition. In the first example, we have the racing condition. The first or second always block, and any of them can be executed first. For the to see the things clear, here I show another example. It's to emulate the non-blocking assignments using blocking assignment statements. So this example has the same effect as the previous non-blocking assignment. The purpose is the same, to swap register content A and B. So here the A and the B are first stored in some temporary registers at the rising edge of the clock. And then the temporary register are written into A and B. So, and this in this block we use block in this begin end block we use blocking statements. So these statements are executed sequentially. First line first, then second line, then third line, and fourth line. This can avoid the ambiguity that exists in this first example. because this blocking and non-blocking assignments are quite important in Verilog. I have include some more examples. So these slides will be updated tomorrow. This is another blocking statement example. We declare some register, 3 registers, X, Y, and Z, 1 bit register each. And register A and B, each of them are 16-bit registers, an integer counter. There is an initial some initial block here from begin to end here. So it's blocking. In this example, the statement y equal to 1 is executed only after x equal to 0 is executed. The second statement is executed after the first statement, and so on, so forth. So the behavior in a particular block is sequential in a begin to end manner. It executes sequentially. So the statement count equal to count plus 1 is executed last. And the simulation time at which the statements are executed are given as follows. First, for this bunch of statements, they are all executed at time equal to 0, but with different order. The first statement first, second statement second, and so on. But they are all executed at time equal to 0 in the simulator. Then, so there's some assignments. And then here we have a delay control here. So register A, the third bit is assigned to 1 at the time of 15. Okay, so this statement, so after this statement is executed, and the simulator will execute the next statement. Now the next statement is assign this concatenate. So we combine X, Y, and Z, concatenate X and Y, Z, and assign them into register B's bit number 15 to 13. So we make this assignment after another 10 units of time. So which means this line of statements is executed at the time equal to 25. So this statement is executed after its previous one is executed. So there was already a 15 units of statement. So here the time will be another 10 units of statement. So it's time equal to 25. And the last statement here is executed at time equal to 25 as well, because there's no further delay. But this statement will be executed after its previous statement, although they are an execution time is same, 25, but there is an order, sequential order. Now, let's have a same example, by using non-blocking statements. Same registers, X, Y, Z. vectors register A and register B, integer count, initial block here. So in this, so non-blocking assignment allow scheduling of assignments without blocking execution of the statements after it. But the scheduling is in a sequential manner. So this is initial, always there are sequential blocks. So if we use non-blocking statements, the scheduling of the tasks, the scheduling of these statements are still sequential. But the assignment are not blocking. So in this example, the statement x equal to 0 through this register B equal to register A, this statement, they are executed sequentially at time equal to 0. And then this assignment of 1 bit into register A's second bit, bit 1, is executed at time 15. Okay, but so this line does not block the execution of the next block and execution of the next line. So the next line states that the concatenate XYZ is assigned to register B in these positions. This is executed at a delay of 10 units, which because this statement's execution is not blocked by its previous statement. It does not need to wait for the execution of its previous line. This means that this 10 unit of delay refers to the start of the simulation. So this line is executed at time equal to 10. If you compare this to the previous one, in the previous example, this simulation time is 25. In previous blocking assignment, the execution time is accumulates. But this in this non-blocking statements, the execution this time are not cumulative. So the simulator schedules a non-blocking assignment to execute at a certain time, and then it continues. The simulator continues to the next statement in a block without waiting for the execution of that statement as non-blocking. So this line won't wait for the execution of this line. So the time difference tells the difference between the non-blocking assignment and blocking assignment. And here the last line. The counter is updated by 1. This is executed at time equal to 0. Without any delay, although it is scheduled last. So in this example, we mixed blocking assignments in the first 3 lines and non-blocking assignments in the last 3 lines to illustrate the behavior. However, this is not recommended. It is recommended that the blocking and non-blocking assignments should not be mixed in the same initial always block. One more example is given to illustrate the non-blocking statements. This example shows you why non-blocking statements are used in digital design. So this example has 3 concurrent events, concurrent data transfer taking place at the same positive edge of the clock. So and the details are described here. So at each positive edge of the clock, the following sequence takes place. So first, for line 1, a read operation is performed. A read operation is performed on the right-hand side variables, including all the lines, including in1, in2, in3, and register 1. At the event, at the positive edge of clock, when the event occurs, all the right-hand side variables are evaluated. And the results are stored internally in the simulator in some temporary registers. So first step is to read all the right-hand side variables and put them in some temporary variables in the simulator. And the second step, the write operations to the left-hand side variables are scheduled to be executed at the time specified by the delay control statements. So for the first statement, the write operation to register 1 will take place after 1 unit of time delay. 1 unit of time after a positive clock edge. And register 2 will be data will be written into register 2. At the negative edge of clock, next negative edge of clock. This at can be put inside some statement, not only in the always block. So at the hash is time control. At is also timing control. We will have details later. Register 3 data will be written in register 3 after 1 unit of time, and this data written in the register 3 is from register 1. This register 1 is the old value of register 1. It's at the rising edge of the clock. Register 1's value, the value at that instant before change, is stored in some temporary variable. Then after the scheduled time, this old value of register 1 is written into register 3. So this register 1 is not this updated value of register 1. So all the right-hand side values are evaluated. They are read at the event first, then store it in some temporary variable, then do the assignments. And so in the write operation, the time for the write operation depends on the scheduled time steps specified here. And the order in which the write operations are executed is not important because the internally stored the simulator has internal variables to hold those right-hand side values. So that's the final value of this register 1, 2, and 3 are not dependent on the order in which the assignments are processed. You can change the line order here without affecting the final result. So last time some of you asked me a question about the past paper. So the same principle can be applied to that question. Now, time control. So in Verilog, if there are no timing control statements, the simulation time does not advance. If it's time 0, and always at time 0, it will not advance. So time control provides a way to specify the simulation time for the procedural statements to go forward. To go forward. And there are three methods of timing control. Delay-based timing control, indicated by this hash symbol. Event-based timing control, using this @ symbol. And level-sensitive timing control with keyword wait. For the delay based timing control, its first type so-called regular delay control. So regular delay control is used to specify regular delay control is specified in the left-hand side of a procedure assignment. And the usage of regular delay control is shown in this example. So here, this first we define some parameters. Keyword parameter. So latency is a fixed constant for convenience of programming. Used to represent this integer 20, and parameter delta is 2. And this line defines register variables. X, Y, Z, P, and Q are register type of signal. And initial block. Okay. First line X equal to 0. This initialize X, and there's no delay control. Here, Y equal to 1. So on the left-hand side of this sequential statement, we have a delay-based control, a hash time. So delay with a number. It delays the execution of this statement by 10 units of time. So Y equal to 1 will be executed after 10 units of time. This line, hash with an identifier This identifier is a parameter defined earlier. You can use this in the coding. The z is initialized to 0. Z is set as 0, this variable. After a delay of latency, which is 20. Or this is another one. The delay is specified in an expression, the hash followed by an expression, latency plus delta. And after this amount of time, PS is assigned to 1. So this delay will accumulate. This line is 10 units of delay. Then this is another 20 units of delay. And this line is another unit delay, another 22 units of delay. This delay accumulates in this blocking assignments. You see, these are blocking assignments. But the delay can also be specified by using this variable identifier. Y is a variable. It's a register type variable. You can use this Y to indicate the amount of delay. We have seen this statement before in the gate level description. So this statement 0 is assigned to Q. This statement is executed with a delay, but this delay has a minimum value of 4, typical value of 5, maximum value of 6. And these are to be used by simulator. Okay, so lots of regular delay. A lot regularly are put on the left side of a statement. And this delay in such blocking statements, they are cumulative, they accumulate. Second type of delay-based timing control is intra-statement delay control, intra-statement. The delay is not specified at the left-hand side. It can be at the right-hand side. For example, let's to illustrate this intrastate delay control, let's check this example. First, this line is to define register variable with 3 variables of register type X, Y, and Z. An initial block. First line, these lines are executed sequentially. So first X is assigned to be 0, Z assigned to be 0. Next, then this statement. We have this hash 5. It means delay of 5. But this is put within the statement, intra statement. And the meaning of this statement is that we take the value of X and Z at time equal to 0. Then evaluate X plus Z and wait for 5 time units to assign a value to Y. So here, X and Y's value are not the value of them at time 5, but X and Y, they are values at time to 0, equal to 0. We take X and Z's value at time equal to 0, and delay for 5 units of time, then assign to Y. So this example shows the contrast between interest statement, interest assignment, delay control, and regular delays. Here is for comparison. To achieve the same effect using regular delay control, we need to do the following. So our first line is same. Then we need to store the x and z's value, or the sum of x plus z, sum of x and y into some temporary variables. Then after 10 units of time, assign this temporary value into y. Even though x and y might change their value between time 0 and 5. You see the difference? So regular delays defer the execution of the entire statement, defer the execution of the entire statement by the time specified. But interest statement delays the computation. Delay the write operation to the left-hand side. The right-hand side is evaluated without delay. Only right-hand side is sorry. The right-hand side is written. It's read. It's read without delay. Only the written, only the write operation has a delay. So we are still in the delay-based timing control. Some more about delay control. Delay is a little tricky. For example, this code always at the event of file and in, if file changes or in changes, we execute this statement. So this code will wait for 10 units of time after the event changes. So then it evaluates if file is true or not. If it is true, then assign input value to output. But this execution is delayed for 10 units. So it will wait. So the value assigned to the output is the value of input at time equals 10. But say if you wanted to assign the input to the output, assign the input value at the event, evaluate at the event, then assign to the output after 10 units of delay. You should do it this. Same statement here. Evaluate the input first at the event. Then wait for 10 units of time and assign it to the output. So this code runs the code every time the input changes and just delays the update of the clock for 10 units of time. The first one, the input might change. But here is to assign the input value at the moment that the event occurs. Okay, so that's First type of timing control, delay-based. The second one is event-based timing control with the keyword symbol at. So an event is a change in the value on a register or while. A change from 0 to 1 or 1 to 0. The usage are illustrated in these lines. So here, at the event of clock, then D is assigned to Q. This statement is executed whenever signal clock changes value. Or the second example here, this statement is executed whenever signal clock does a positive transition. From positive transition includes 0 to 1, or 0 to X, or 0 to Z, or unknown to 1, high impedance to 1. And these are treated as a positive transition. And this one is this statement is executed when clock signal does a negative transition, which means from 1 to 0, or 1 to X, or 1 to Z, or X to 0, or Z to 0, falling edge. So this event-based control can be put within a statement. Say Q equal to at post edge D, and this means takes D's value at the positive edge of clock, then assigned to Q. So D is evaluated immediately at the positive edge of clock and assigned to Q. I should say, D is read when executed this, D is evaluated immediately at this moment of at the moment that this statement is encountered. The value D is written, but it's assigned to Q at the positive edge of clock. And in the statement, in the event statement, we can use comma or to specify a multitude of triggering signals. This is called sensitivity list or control. This example shows an therefore sensitive latch with a synchronous reset. So here, always at this event, reset or clock or D. So either reset changes, clock changes, or D changes. They are treated as an event, not triggering this block. We can use comma here, or use keyword or. Let's take a look at this block. It's a latch with reset. So if reset is true at the event, then up Q is reset to 0. Because reset is included in the sensitivity list as one of the triggering events. So this reset is asynchronous. It does not need to wait for a clock signal. So this asynchronous reset. Else, if reset is not true, and if clock is high, we execute this statement, assign D to output Q. This is not a flip-flop, it's a latch, therefore sensitive. If clause is high, then assign this. This is another example. This is a positive edge trigger D-type flip-flop. This is the previous one is latch. This is D-type flip-flop with asynchronous falling edge reset. Let's see, very simple. So always the sensitivity, let's include positive edge of clock and negative edge of reset. Check out on these two events. If reset has a negative edge, or a clock has a positive edge, we execute these statements. If, say, check if reset is low, which means we have seen a falling edge of reset. It goes from high to zero. If reset is zero, then we reset the output Q to zero. As asynchronous reset. Reset signal is included here. Otherwise, the event must be a clock event. If reset is not low, which means we don't have a falling edge of the reset. That means the event must be triggered by the positive clock edge. Then we assign a D input into output Q. Sometimes, sometimes we have a long sensitivity list, and if the sensitivity is long, coding will become very clumsy. And we can use this at all to implicitly include all the relevant input signals. As shown here, we use it at all at the star operator. So this is say an example. Say we have always block. It has long list of long activity sensitivity list, A or B or C or D all the way to M. It's very simple. Output equal to this, and then output one equal to A. If A is true, then give B plus C. Otherwise, B plus C, and another similar. Because right hand side we have many variables. So, so here we have long list of long sensitivity list. Well, this is clumsy. Alternatively, we can use at star symbol to indicate, as I said, at bracket star to indicate all the changes on the right-hand side of the statements in the block. All the relevant changes in these blocks. The last type of timing control is level sensitive timing control. We use the keyword wait. So event control discussed earlier, wait for the change of a signal value. So the symbol at provide edge sensitive control. Verilog also allows level sensitive timing control. That is the ability to wait for a certain condition to be true before a statement is executed. So, use keyword wait. So in this example, wait, always wait, count enable, delay of 20 units, and update count, increase count by 1. So in this example, the value of count and enable is monitored continuously If it is true, so it is if it is false, then we will not enter this statement. But if counter enable is true, then this count is updated by 1. It's increased by 1 every 20 units. In every 20 units of time. If the count enable stays at high value, then this statement, then the count will be increased by 1 every 20 units of time. It will be always like a loop, always there. Okay, that's the timing control. And so today we have an in-depth discussion on the blocking and unblocking assignment, and then learned this 3 types of timing control. That's all for today. Any questions? Yes. Well, it ranges from what the average is around. I think it's 70. I haven't calculated. It's there. Maybe 60 or 70 around that value. The mean, that's the mean. The spread is quite wide. Yeah, a standard deviation, I think is large. I can show it show the statistic tomorrow. Okay. If no other question, I'll see you tomorrow. Oh, we update. 聽日會update。